Well, we're excited too, and we're going to go ahead and kick it off here in just a moment. But thank you to all of you who are joining us for this open house. This is kind of a pinnacle event that we enjoy doing each year to show you what these students have learned, but even more importantly, what they're capable of. And so I'm going to turn it over to our project manager, who has been the leader of this internship. She's a UC Davis graduate. Feel free to say "Go Aggies" when I call your name. But Mahogany Smith Christopher lives in Carson, California, and she has been my right-hand woman, making sure that this internship went perfectly smoothly. So thank you to you, Mahogany, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to you to introduce our interns.
Thank you so much. And as Joe mentioned, my name is Mahogany Smith. I'm currently the project manager for the multi-city internship at the Go Green Initiative, in addition to serving in the capacity as a fellow for the Civic Spark program. So for the past couple of weeks, I've been working closely with the interns to educate themselves on California legislation as it relates to school districts, specifically around the topic waste management. So now I'll go ahead and hand it over to Catherine so she can give you, she'll be screen sharing, and the interns will be giving you an in-depth journey of what they've been going over these past couple of weeks. So I hope you enjoy.
All right. Welcome everyone. My name is Belen Gonzalez, and I'm a multi-city intern from Madara. My teammates are Giovanni Prudente, Suataja, Alizia Alejo, and Cesar Uribe. Today I'm going to start off our presentation with a little bit about who we all are. So if we can move on to the next slide. Okay, so once again, welcome everyone. We are all interns who are taking part in Go Green Initiative's 2021 5-week multi-city internship that is powered by Engie. Our ages range from 14 to 20, which means that some of us are in college, while some of us are still in high school. We come from multiple cities, including Madara, Hayward, Oakland, Compton, and Mendota, which are all based here in California, with the exception of Mendota, which is based in Illinois. So I'm going to be introducing all of our teams that are taking part in this year's internship. To start us all off, we have Team F, and their team name is #EcoRangers. Then we have Team E, and their team name is #EcoWarriors. Moving forward, we have Team G, which is the team I'm a part of, and our team name is #OurFutureIsGreen. Next up, we have Team H, and their team name is #GreenChain. And finally, we have Team I, and their team name is the IN team. So in conclusion, these are all the teams that are taking part in this year's internship. And I hope that by seeing all of our faces, it is easier to introduce ourselves later on, and it also helps you guys put a face to our voices. Moving forward, I'm going to pass it on to my group member, Cesar, and he'll be giving you more information about who we all are.
Hello everyone, my name is Cesar. I am 16 years old and I am a junior at Madara South High School. All of us multi-city interns are inspired to learn about sustainability and green issues, such as recycling and waste contamination. And we are very excited that you are all here to listen to what we have been learning. Here are a couple of pictures of all of us in action during our Zoom meetings in which we have discussions and share ideas. All in all, we look forward to getting to know you all, and we hope you enjoy our presentation. And right now, I will be passing it on to my friend, Suad.
Thank you, Cesar. So what is the Go Green Initiative internship? The Go Green Initiative internship is all about educating today's youth on sustainability and green issues in California and our communities. It has given us interns a more in-depth look at topics such as waste and recycling, waste contamination, and current environmental legislation in California. This all started because of Joe Buck's concern about the waste being generated at schools and the unsafe use of pesticides on playgrounds. She decided to take action and founded the Go Green Initiative program in 2002 to solve the environmental issues in her community. The program is now global, and its goals are to protect and maintain natural resources for our future generations and to protect human health by educating and taking better care of our environment. I will now be passing it on to my group member, Alze.
Thank you, Suad. Hello, everyone. My name is Alze Alejo from Madara. I attend Madara South High School, and today I'm going to be talking about who we could do this without. So we wouldn't be able to do this without Engie. Engie is an energy service group that operates in 3 key business sectors of low carbon electricity. They also work with school districts to implement recycling programs. Then we have our team managers, Jill Buck, Mahogany Smith, Cassie Herrera, and Mallory McGough. They continue to help us day to day in our internship and lead us on what needs to be done. We appreciate everything they do for us. We also have our senior interns, Nathaniel and Luana, who help us immediately with any questions that we have. They keep track of the interns and make sure that we understand all of our assignments. And now I'm going to be passing it back to Belen.
Okay, so the importance. As members of Go Green Initiative, it is our goal to hashtag Go Green. Therefore, by participating in this internship and taking the time to listen to young leaders of our generation, we're able to develop sustainability and a conservation culture in our communities, with the students at the forefront of this battle. It proves to be a collective effort to get each other to rally support to protect our planet and its natural resources. But together, we are able to hashtag Go Green multiple steps at a time, which in simpler terms is G, generate less waste, R, recycle everything that cannot be reused, E, educate the community on eco-friendly options, E, evaluate the environmental impact of actions, and finally, N, nourish discussions and activities that integrate environmental education into existing curriculum. Now, I'm going to be passing it on to Team F.
Hello, my name is Zakaria Dodson. I am a rising junior from Compton High. And now Team F, or other known as hashtag Eco Rangers, will state how the interns gained knowledge and what was the process to be prepared for this day.
Hello, my name is Emily Navarro. I'm a rising senior at Centennial High School from Compton, and I'm going to be talking about some of the work we've done. The multi-city internship is heavily based on teamwork. We consistently work together and we often work in groups. From the very beginning of the internship, we were given topics to research and create a presentation for, to later present to each other as an efficient way to both inform one another and practice. We do group projects for our designated teams with the Pleasanton interns and even city-specific work. Some work we've done in general over the course of the internship have been group presentations, working alongside Pleasanton interns, talking to guest speakers, research, social media posts, and DIY videos. I'm going to be passing it on to my teammate, Stephanie.
Hello, my name is Stephanie Urbina. I am a rising senior in Dominguez High School in Compton. And on the first week of our internship, administrators from Cycle spoke to us about waste laws, enforcement, fines that come with, and the recycling and compost infrastructure in California. And in the state of California, the usual available capacity for organic waste to be composted is 4 million tons, but in 2017, 6 million tons of organic waste were composted. And in efforts to try to make sure this does not continue, California is passing SB 1383 bill that would be effective in January 2022. That would help residents and businesses learn how they can organically recycle.
Hi, my name is Deja Patterson, and I am a rising senior at Centennial High School in Compton, California. And on week 2 of our internship, our guest speaker was Tianna Nourot. She has been the senior protection manager for waste management for the last 13 years. She spoke to us about the work she does at different landfills, but specifically talked about the Altamont landfill in Livermore, California. The Altamont landfill is 2,170 acres, making it one of the largest landfills in California. The landfill takes waste from Alameda, Marin, Sonoma, Napa, Solano, Contra Costa, San Mateo, San Francisco, and Santa Clara. And now I'll be passing it on to my teammate, Michael.
Michael may be muted or his Wi-Fi may be down. Another teammate can step in.
Okay, so these are some of the examples on how we use what we learned from researching and guest speakers into our work, like social media posts. Once we learn new information like reducing waste contamination, we make social media posts which will allow for a larger range of people to know what we learned. We also look at our guest speakers' presentations and feedback from Mahogany and Mallory and from our senior interns to do better on our slides and work. Now I'll be passing it on to Team H.
Thank you, Team F, for that introduction. Hello, everyone. My name is Fatima Gonzalez, and I attend Madara High School. And my teammates Stephanie Canseco, Michael Kaluga, and Daniel Cisneros will be sharing how waste management is handled. More specifically, how every community is different when dealing with waste, and how transfer stations, recycling, composting, and landfills are all a part of a system dedicated to keeping the planet as clean and green as possible. Now I will be passing the next slide to my teammate, Daniel.
Why is each community different? Different cities, different laws. For example, the government provides state and local laws, city contracts with waste haulers and local law enforcement. Private companies provide waste haulers, recycling facilities, composting facilities, and waste-to-energy facilities. Penalties for incorrect recycling or incorrect use of waste bins vary city to city. Now I'll be passing this on to Michael.
Thank you, Daniel. What are waste transfer stations? How does the waste system work for the transfer? Workers at local transfer stations sort the garbage dropped off by delivery trucks. Then items that aren't accepted at local landfills, such as batteries or other hazardous items, are removed before the remaining materials are compacted and reloaded onto trucks, trains, or barges to the final destination. What are waste transfer stations? Waste transfer stations are industrial facilities with municipal solid waste, or MSW, is temporarily held and sorted before heading to a landfill. The benefits of using waste transfer station is preventing hazardous waste from ending up in a landfill, which limits chemical pollution and future soil contamination. Now I'll be passing it on to Stephanie.
Thank you, Michael. So my name is Stephanie, and I graduated from Madara South High School, and we'll be talking about recycling. So let's start off with what are recyclables to begin with. These are materials or products that can be reused. For example, we have paper products, plastics, cardboards, metals, glass, etc. But before we recycle, we have to make sure to always clean before putting it into the recycling bin, because this can lead to contamination. Another form of contamination can be from putting your recycling into the wrong bin. If you put your plastic products into a compostable bin or a garbage bin, that is a form of contamination, as well as vice versa, putting your compost and garbage into your recycling bin. So why is this even important? Like, what are the benefits? Of course, well, recycling saves resources and creates jobs, saves energy, conserves natural resources such as timber, water, and minerals, increases economic security by tapping a domestic source of materials, prevents pollution by reducing the need to collect new raw materials, and much, much more. Now we'll move on back to Michael.
Thank you, Stephanie. What is compostable? Organic waste like food scraps, yard trims, and gardens that are not treated with pesticide waste are okay to recycle. What is not compostable? Pet waste, dye, or glossy paper in plastic are not compostable. Why should I compost? Creates healthy fertilizer in soil, reduces food waste, and lowers carbon emission, thus decreases pollution, reuses and recycles organic items. For more detailed information, visit or scan this link below. Now I'll be passing it off to my teammate, Fatima.
What happens to organic waste after it is picked up from my home or business? Once picked up by waste haulers, large amounts of compost get dropped off at a composting facility. Workers then manually sort the compost, looking for trash, plastic, and other contaminants. The compost then goes through various machines, like a grinder which further grounds up the compost, and a trommel screen which separates materials from the compost. The large composting piles then have to bake for about 90 to 120 days, and they must be kept at a temperature of 130 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit, or the pile will be risked to being soiled. Once the compost has finished baking, it is then sold to local farms, plant nurseries, and home improvement stores that package and sell the compost to customers and consumers. Now I will be passing it back to Daniel.
What is a landfill? A landfill site is the area where garbage and waste is disposed of. Now let's get into what do landfills do. After garbage gets dropped off at a landfill site, it gets broken down, then it gets buried. This type of landfill is called a sanitary landfill. Landfills can also create energy from waste. They are not just dumping grounds for trash. For example, the Altamont landfill here in California creates renewable gas that powers thousands of homes, offer composting services, and is part of the landfill. Part of the landfill is even dedicated to wildlife preservation. Now I'll pass this on to Stephanie.
Thank you. So if you want to find out more specific information on this topic about your city, you can go and visit your city's website through a quick Google search. Then look for categories related to department, government services, information on solid waste codes. Then search for keywords such as public works or municipal utilities. Finally, scroll to find that information on how your city handles and manages their waste, recycling, and composting. Here we have an example of a flyer we created, which just shows the steps that I just previously mentioned. And now we can welcome Team I.
Hi, we're Team I, and today we'll be talking about California legislation, specifically AB 1826, AB 341, and SB 1383, and how these legislations affect schools. So, my name is Tianna Kilpatrick. I'm a rising senior at Skyline High School in Oakland, California. I'll be talking about AB 341 and AB 1826. AB 341 says that any business who generates 4 or more cubic yards of commercial solid waste weekly must properly recycle. And AB 1826 says that any business who generates more than 2 cubic yards of organic waste weekly must recycle it. These assembly bills create jobs and keep valuable materials out of landfills. They recover natural resources to maintain a healthy environment, and reduce greenhouse gas emissions by forcing waste providers to work with local jurisdictions and businesses to offset any commercial impact.
Hi, my name is Kevin Fan. I'm a rising junior from Hayward, California, and I'll be presenting SB 1383. California Governor Jerry Brown passed this legislation back in 2016, meant to be a counter to short-lived climate pollutants, especially methane. This legislation was named SB 1383 and is currently the theme for our internship effort this year. Methane itself is very potent, nearly 84% stronger than carbon dioxide. California landfills are one of the most largest producers of methane in California, being the third largest compared to other sources. To combat this, SB 1383 was created to reduce the amount of gas emitted by landfills through recovering reusable food scraps and compost, as well as using methane for burning energy. SB 1383 aims to reduce organic waste disposal by 75% by 2025 and recover nearly 20% of disposed and edible foods that are thrown out. Now I'll be passing this off to Amara.
Hi, my name is Amara McAvoy, and I'm a rising senior at Skyline High School in Oakland, California, and I will be further discussing SB 1383. So SB 1383 establishes goals to achieve a 50% reduction in the level of the statewide disposal of organic waste from the 2014 level by 2020 and a 75% reduction by 2025. Below is a timeline of how SB 1383 is expected to be implemented and enforced in waste management systems or facilities. So on July 1st, 2020, CalRecycle was expected to collect data on the progress of the waste sector in reaching the organic waste reduction goal. On January 1st, 2022, CalRecycle's regulations are expected to meet the 2020 and 2025 goals. On January 1st, 2024, regulations will require local jurisdictions to enforce penalties to those companies who do not comply with the law. On January 1st, 2025, the state must achieve a 75% reduction of nationwide disposal of organic waste from 2014. In addition to this, no less than 20% of currently disposed edible foods have to be recovered for human consumption. The links for this information are on the top right corner of the image and at the bottom of the slide.
Hi, my name is Kevin Fajardo, and I will be talking about SB 1383's effects on schools. Some of SB 1383's directives are aimed at schools and education agencies in the hope of improving their organic waste disposal practices and reducing organic waste on the whole. The bill stipulates that schools must reduce and prevent the generation of organic waste as well as improve the recycling of any organic waste that is produced. The stipulation will affect both schools and education agencies starting on January 1st, 2022. Another rule posed by the bill directs schools and educational agencies with an on-site food facility to recover any and all still edible food. This rule will once again affect both schools and education agencies. This rule will take effect on January 1st, 2024.
Hi, my name is Melina Beerworth. I'm a rising junior at Mendota Township High School. As we have said before, the implementation of SB 1383 took place in September 2016 and was put in place by Governor Edmund Brown Jr. This was meant as a movement to reduce emissions of short-lived climate pollutants and was put in place to set reduction goals. These goals were a reduction of 50% by 2020 and 75% by 2025. Below is a curated timeline of SB 1383, including the future goals. I will now pass this presentation on to Team E. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. We are Team E, also known as Eco Warriors. Our team is comprised of 5 members: Catherine, me, Noelle, Jeslie, Yair, and Katie. For the remaining part of our presentation, we will be focusing on the deliverables the various teams have made, and we'll show you the multiple versions of them that they made and the posts that they made them about. So let's get started and look at the incredible work all the teams have worked on.
So hi. Here are a couple of infographics that were made by Team F and Team I. So if we take a closer look at these two infographics, we can see that they share similar information. But what we really wanted to highlight were the 3 main laws we have previously covered. So these consist of laws AB 1826, SB 1383, and AB 341. What we really wanted to do was emphasize the importance of these laws, but we wanted to inform the citizens of California, as well as any business owners, about the various laws that are being reinforced to reduce waste and greenhouse gases in our communities. Next.
This infographics was one of the first one that was assigned to us. As you can see from the 2 examples that we have added there, each team created an infographic on how someone can find recycling and composting information in their community with a set of steps. As we all know, recycling and composting can be extremely overwhelming and confusing if you don't know how to properly do it. And this is why when creating this infographic, we had in mind A, someone who has just moved into a new city and doesn't know the city's specific guidelines, or B, just someone who has lived there for quite some time, but in reality doesn't really know their city's composting and recycling guidelines and restrictions. By making this infographic, we hope to aid and make the process of recycling and composting easier and more simple for the residents, decrease the chance of the recycling and composting being contaminated, and also just make the job for workers in the facilities less complicated than it already is.
Hi everyone. As we all know, contamination is a huge problem that most people have heard of. We all know about contamination, but we might not know exactly what it is or how to look further into contamination in our city or how to prevent it. Teams were assigned an infographic and took their own turn on it. As you can see on the slide, there is an image of one of the infographics. By creating these infographics, we hope that people can understand a bit more about contamination and look further into their habits and their city at home and make a change.
So one of the first social media posts we completed in the social media toolkit was the America Recycles Day. You're seeing Team I's take on the post on the right-hand corner. For the LinkedIn post, for the LinkedIn post, we created just an eye catcher or something, a graphic with general information while having the caption have more thorough ways of how you can participate. And for Instagram, you're seeing Team G's interpretation on the left-hand corner. And you'll see these soon on our social media, on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Just make sure to keep up to date. And yeah.
Hello. So for our social media toolkit, we worked on social media posts that inform the readers about the importance of World Food Day and why their participation is needed. As you can see, here are a couple examples of what a few of our teams created. Each team spoke on ways of getting involved in World Food Day, the benefits, and the great importance of it. Some posts are Instagram posts that require multiple slides, so we weren't able to fit it all. However, if you'd like to see the finalized deliverables of all of the teams, you can stay up to date on the GGI announcements or contact Joe Buck. Thank you.
So another aspect to the social media toolkit was the how-to video. So each team created their own version of a video that demonstrated ways to reduce contamination by information like knowing how to recycle and also providing DIYs that the viewer can do at home. So you can see these videos once they're posted on our social media.
In closing, we first gave an introduction of who we are. Then we informed you all about how we have prepared throughout this internship and learned all of this valuable information. Then we explained how our waste system works. And next, we informed you all, we described the California legislation laws such as AB 1826, AB 341, and SB 1383. And last but not least, we showed you all the different deliverables that we have created for this internship, such as the social media toolkit and this presentation.
We appreciate the time you have took out of your busy day to listen to what we have learned. We have enjoyed learning all of these different various topics, and we hope you have as well. You can stay up on date on GGI announcements via social media on Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. You can also scan the QR code on your left that will lead you to contact information depending the city as well as school. You can scan the QR code on the right that will lead you to Go Green Initiative website. We hope you can contact us interns for any ideas, concerns, or potential projects. You may also have to contact us as a high school or college students who live in your area. Also, you can contact Joe Buck for more information about the internship as well. Thank you so much.
Well done, everybody. I know that it would be an understatement to say that was incredible. That was a really good body of work. And I want to thank Engie, those of you who are with us from Engie. I want to thank you for the honor and the opportunity that you provided for me to work with these brilliant students. Thank you for creating this opportunity for each of them. And we're so glad that so many of you are here with us. Now, adults, it's on you all. We're going to get ready to break up into breakout rooms where you get to meet the students from your city. You'll get to choose a breakout room that goes along with your city. And they have prepared, a little facilitated discussion. But when we come back into this main breakout room in about 25 minutes, we're going to ask one of the adults from each of the cities to tell us what happened in your room and if you made any plans for what's next. As the interns were speaking about these laws, except for Mendota. Illinois has a separate set of laws. We'll discuss that. I'll be in that room with you guys. But in California, everything that they were talking about that pertains to businesses pertains to schools. And SB 1383 is the biggest, most sweeping piece of legislation in the waste world that California has passed in over 30 years. Cities, schools, businesses are all really ramping up to comply with this law. And for schools, I will say this is the first time that there are consequences for not completing what's required by the law. And so unless you have perfect recycling and perfect composting going on in your school district, there's room for opportunity and room for growth. And we have a crop of amazing students ready to help you with that. So before we go into city-specific breakout rooms, are there any questions on the part of the adults? I know the interns know what's going on. My coworkers are well prepared for what's next. But any questions from adults? Going once, going twice. All right, I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. Choose the one that corresponds with your city. Let's have some fun.